fees. Repeal the 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 fees.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees.
When I say we don't want a suspension, you say repeal. We don't want a suspension.
Repeal.
We don't want a suspension.
Repeal.
We don't want a suspension.
Repeal.
We don't want a suspension.
Repeal.
Council President LaCava, repeal the fees.
Repeal the fees.
Repeal the fees.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees.
We don't want a suspension.
Repeal.
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 Repeal the fees.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees.
All right.
Repeal the fees.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
It's good to be here at the Prado, the historic Prado restaurant. And restaurant workers, give yourself a big hand from all over Balboa Park for being here to say repeal the fees. My name is Shane Harris. I'm the San Diego Public Advocate. And together we are here standing in Balboa Park during what is San Diego Restaurant Week, alongside the people who keep this park alive every single day. The workers, the working class, those who work hard to feed the people that come to this park, those that work hard to serve the people that come to this park. Our workers are our most important asset, and that is why I come to say we will accept nothing less than a full repeal of the parking fees in Balboa Park.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees.
Now, I want to be clear. The cooks, the servers, the bartenders, the dishwashers, the hosts, the managers who open these doors early, stay late, and welcome San Diegans and visitors alike, they are not a side note to Balboa Park. They are essential to Balboa Park. All of these folks. They're here because they felt the impact firsthand of a bad, rogue, and not well put together policy to create paid parking fees in Balboa Park. These are the folks that it is hurting the most. And today, for the first time ever in this whole fight for a full repeal, restaurant workers are stepping up and are saying that paid parking is killing foot traffic, paid parking is cutting shifts, and paid parking is threatening their job. And that is why we want a full repeal of the fees. You can't say that you're for working class folks. You can't argue that you're for the working class if you cannot stand on the side of the working class who make Balboa Park work. Today, we are here to stand with the essential workers, the people who the council claims, who the mayor claims are the working class, that they should always have the support, the people that the unions should stand with, the people that the elected officials should stand with, the essential workers who make Balboa Park what it is today. We must repeal the fees, not for the affluent, but for the working class community that is working, having to walk here every single day and do what is essential in Balboa Park. Earlier this week, I met with many restaurant workers here in Balboa Park. I was among the first leaders in the region to go talk to the restaurant workers. Everyone's been rallying, having all these big rallies with the affluent, making the arguments for other folks, but nobody's come to talk to the people who are the most hit, the hardest hit, are restaurant workers who are at risk of losing their jobs. I heard from them this week. They're at risk of losing their jobs because of this rogue, insane, and not well put together policy. And that is why I will fight tooth and nail, not for a suspension on February 9th, but for my proposal, which I'm here to unveil today, a full repeal of parking fees in Balboa Park for the people, by the people, and with the people. Now, I want to be clear. When fewer people come to the park, if I could paint a picture for you, restaurants do suffer. Everyone's been doing all this talk about museums, but restaurants are getting hit harder. My mama used to say that sometimes the hardest hit person, when you get a cold, they get pneumonia. When museums in Balboa Park get a cold because of this bad policy, the restaurant workers are getting pneumonia because they're at risk of losing their jobs. But we come to say we will fight for their jobs. We will fight for the workforce of Balboa Park and those who make this park what it is. This fight is not about the affluent. This fight is not about the middle class, or although I care deeply about those folks and I've stood with them and I will fight for them too. This fight is most importantly about the dignified folks who make Balboa Park work, because they work hard. They work hard shifts, long shifts, come in and out to serve people, to make sure people eat. Our chefs, our servers, our bussers, the essential workers. This issue is not theoretical. It's not academic. It's not abstract. Plain and simple, this is a working class issue. It is not just parking and it doesn't matter, for those of you who want to make that argument. Because see, when you're wealthy, when you have a lot of money, and I live next to Balboa Park, so I got a little liberty to talk here. I can walk over here. This is not about me. This is not about the middle class. This is not about the fact that you can pay a $5 or a $16 fee a day. This is about the fact that majority can't. That is who we ought to be thinking about, not being selfish with our own self-aggrandizement and our own pockets, not caring about those who are hit the hardest, our working class folks. So For months, we've seen delays, half-baked measures, and political maneuvering. My item on Balboa Park just this week was moved twice to the back of the agenda. Is that right?
No.
If the city council keeps moving our agenda to the back of the agenda, what are they saying to you? They don't care. They don't care about the working class. They don't care about those who are hit the hardest. Shada was there with me, who's going to speak in just a few moments. She saw them maneuver that. That was not about anything but political optics. Councilor President LaCava did not want parking to be on the agenda this week because he knew that I was pushing for what I pushed for January 9th, a full repeal of paid parking fees in Balboa Park. He knew that I was going to use that agenda item this week to maneuver the people's agenda and ensure that the people's voices got heard. That's right. And just this week, even during that meeting, Council Member Raul Campillo, let's give him a big hand. Council Member Campillo has been the most logical, rational leader on paid parking in Balboa Park, along with Council Member Whitburn. And if it's up to us, we are going to get this damn thing done and repeal the fees in Balboa Park. He brought forth a motion to ask that my proposal be extended to every day of the week, which is what I wanted. I made that proposal in November, but I also made a proposal January 9th, standing on the other side of Balboa Park, proposing an ordinance to repeal paid parking fees in Balboa Park. I was the first leader to write an ordinance, draft it, and issue it to the city council. To this day, no Office of the Public Advocate did. Why? Because paid parking is killing our working class. So let's get down to the suspension here and what's going on at the spectacle on February 9th. Council President LaCava has proposed a suspension. Let us be clear. That is solely political maneuvering at its finest. They heard the voices of the people. They got the backlash. But they also got the backlash of the unions and those who are paid to lobby them for more city resources for a city government that has proven for years not to be able to manage their own wallets, yet they want to get in yours. I say hell no to getting in the people's wallets anymore. You need to get your own wallet together and fix your own budget. It is not our job. It is not our job to fix your problem. And so let us be clear. Council President LaCava's proposal, it provides no clear plan. What happens to the thousands of people who already paid for annual passes? What was his answer to the media on Wednesday? Oh, we'll see what the city staff says after the policy is passed. Nope. We want a full repeal, and the parking annual passes that were purchased by the thousands of San Diegans immediately refunded once that repeal measure goes through. Including some of these folks who bought those passes. What about the volunteers in Council President LaCava's proposal who come from Escondido, El Cajon, Chula Vista, La Mesa? What about all of those cities that bring in the volunteers who give their time for free? You want them to pay to come and provide their time to the museums and to all the places and establishments in Balboa Park, I'd say that is a disservice to the people of San Diego, and that is a disservice to our museums and to all the institutions in Balboa Park. No, sir. You see, his proposal is not fairness. It's passing the burden to the people who have to absorb it. So his policy leaves out the fact that it is a regional park. Hundreds of volunteers come from all over the county, donate their time every week. Under a suspension, many of them are still on the hook. Workers commuting into this park, still navigating a broken system. Under his proposal, what did he tell you this week? He said, oh no, we're gonna keep the website intact while the suspension is ongoing. So people still have to register for a public park that has been free for over a century. We say no to the website and no to registering for a free park for the people. No, sir. And so, where do we come down today? Instead of fixing the problems, City Hall turns to a public park, to the taxpayers. Public park that has been free for over a century. That's not what Balboa Park was meant for. George Marston and Alonzo Horton would be turning over in their graves. They are turning over in their graves. That's why today I am standing with restaurant workers who support the Harris proposal. My proposal that I'm unveiling today, many of you in the media have received it, the Balboa Park Parking Access and Fairness Ordinance, to restore the park back to the people, by the people, and with the people. My proposal, the Balboa Park Parking Access and Fairness Ordinance, already has the support of dozens of institutions, including the California Restaurant Association. Thank you, Chris Duggan, for being an advocate for the people, and CRA for being a voice for the workers. My ordinance fully repeals paid parking in Balboa Park. It will restore free parking for everyone, city residents and county residents alike. And it ends enforcement immediately and registration requirements. And it requires the city to fully refund every annual parking pass immediately once the ordinance is passed, no questions asked. I want to be clear, because there's some folks that are confused about my efforts, including that B. Some folks said, oh, why is he just bringing this forth? Let me be clear. I am re-proposing this. I proposed it 4 days after paid parking took effect because I saw the disaster in plain sight. I am re-proposing it now because Council President LaCava and what he's proposing is half-baked, is not a solution, and we will oppose it on February 9th and instead call for the people to support the Harris proposal, the Balboa Park parking access and the Balboa Park proposal that I'm proposing, parking access and fairness ordinance. Yesterday's tie vote, or this week's tie vote on free Sundays, wasn't a setback. It was proof that this current policy is unsustainable. Free Sundays were never the end goal for me. They were a safeguard, a bridge, an opportunity to provide San Diegans a voice because they had to bring my ballot measure forward. They were forced to. And I wanted to use that ballot measure to emphasize that San Diegans are outraged by this and to use that for the council and to call on the council to take my proposed ballot measure and make it every day. And that happened. It died on a 2-2 vote. But we see clearly, who is for free parking in Balboa Park, who wants to restore the park to the people, and who wants to keep it to the selfish, hungry city. But let me be clear. You cannot claim to support restaurant workers while defending a policy that costs them hours and potentially their job. You cannot celebrate Restaurant Week while ignoring the workers who are telling you business is down. And you cannot claim equity while building a system that punishes working class people. Balboa Park belongs to the people. Restaurant workers are a part of that public trust. And today they are leading the way. They are saying no pauses, no suspensions, and no half-baked measures. They want a full repeal. And furthermore, they're saying today that they support Harris's Balboa Park parking access and fairness ordinance. And I'm calling on the city council to amend Council President LaCava's proposal on February 9th and bring my ordinance forward for a full repeal on the floor at the February 9th meeting. We want Balboa Park restored back to the people, taken away from the meters, and supporting our restaurant workers forever and ever and ever. At this time, you're going to hear from some of the workers who support my proposal. Many of you in the media saw my memo, along with my ordinance, to Council President LaCava. My memo says to him and to the council plain and clearly, we will not support a suspension. We will not show up February 9th and support a suspension. We would rather take it either all in or all out. But I would rather it be all in regard to a full repeal, because that is plain and clear. It ensures people get a reimbursement on their annual passes immediately, and it assures that county volunteers who come into our beautiful park can come here and serve. Now, I know city budgets. I understand the issue. I'm not confused on that. But you've got to do your math when you do a policy. You've got to weigh the pros and the cons. In this case, the city did a horrible job at weighing the cons. They only weighed what they wanted to do. They didn't talk to the workers. Boo. They didn't talk to the workers. They didn't talk to the citizens. They didn't ask, what do you think about this? They just come in like they've been coming in almost regularly now, trampling neighborhoods, trampling real people, and trampling the residents of this city. The residents of this city are fed up with your bad policy decisions, trying to use their money to pocket it for mismanagement purposes. They want the park restored back to the people, and they want the people to have prominence in this city government again and matter as they should. So on February 9th, I'm asking the council to bring forth my ordinance, the Balboa Park Parking Access and Fairness Ordinance. And let's restore the park back to the restaurant workers, the hardest working class folks in the country, and the residents of San Diego and beyond. Because Balboa Park, as George Marston and Alonzo Horton said, belongs to the commons of the public. And with that being said, let us hear from restaurant workers. Let us hear first from Shada. Let's give her a big hand.
Hi, my name is Shada, and I've been working at the product for 3 years, and I've been living in San Diego for 3 years. It's exhausting to see city council actively pushing low-income people out of public spaces. This is clearly another tactless, blatant cash grab, punishing the people that are already struggling to pay their bills. This not only taxes the people that enjoy the park, but also restaurant workers, museum workers, and all the other vendors that rely on this park to make their living. Park revenue and attendance has noticeably decreased. Will you match the sentiments of your constituents? I support Shane Harris's proposal to repeal the fees.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Let us hear at this time from another hard-working, he runs this coffee cart right here. And let me tell you, I just had a cortado. One of the best honey cinnamon cortados I've had. Let us hear from Robert.
Hi guys, I've been working here for about 5 years now, and I've noticed a tremendous drop in revenue, not only for the coffee cart here, but also the restaurant. Revenues are down around 30 to 40%, and that is not sustainable. So I do support Shane Harris in this motion. Thank you.
And now let us hear from Sophia Picasso, one of the hardest working managers in the city of San Diego.
Well, first off, we support Shane in his initiative to repeal the fees. This is unbelievably worse than we thought it might be. We're in the process of looking at how we can keep the restaurant open, but also how and who we lay off. We have team members that have been here 20 years, 15 years, 5 years, 3 years, that we're looking at cutting their shifts. They support their families, they work hard, they come into Balboa Park, they represent it well, they support the guests. But to drop anywhere from 15 to 40% on a day, this is a 400-seat restaurant that we have 18 guests walk through our doors in an evening. That's unheard of. People don't want to pay for parking to come to a public space. It is not impacting me or you maybe, but it is impacting the team that has to feed their family and support and pay their rent and live in San Diego. They're unable to do that when we have a drop so drastically of an average of 33% loss of sales because people are not coming to Balboa Park because they don't want to pay for parking. They don't understand the system. They can't figure out the meters because they're broken, brand new, and they're broken. And that's just not okay. It's a free park. It was given to the people. It was meant to be free, and it needs to be free for people to come here and enjoy Balboa Park. Woo!
So in closing, I want to read a statement from the California Restaurant Association. This was a big deal. For this big of an institution to come out and say that we support the ordinance drafted by your office in opposition to LaCava's proposal, I really appreciate it. And here's a statement from the CRA. While the CRA appreciates Council President LaCava, Council President Pro Tem Lee, and Council Member Elo Rivera's call for the suspension of Balboa Park parking fees for city residents only, the CRA believes that the current proposal falls well short, stated Chris Duggan with the California Restaurant Association. The CRA and our membership restaurants stand in full support of the Balboa Park Parking Access and Fairness Ordinance. Thank you, Chris Duggan and the CRA, for your support. And to all of these restaurant workers for your understanding of policy. It's very difficult sometimes. They tell you suspension, you think, oh God, they're going to get rid of the fees. No, they're just using tactics, political tactics, to try to diminish the voices of the people. But on February 9th, we're going to show up and we're going to say that we do not support a suspension. We oppose Council President LaCava's item, and we want Harris's proposal brought forth by a council member for a full repeal of Balboa Park parking fees. And so with that being said, I call on the council to instead bring forth my proposal, the Balboa Park Parking Access and Fairness Ordinance, to restore the park back to the people. And with that being said, I'll take any questions from the media in regard to this proposal and the next steps going forward.
Any comments in Spanish from Spanish-speaking workers available?
You have any? Jean, you mind? Just like give a short speech.
Sí, estamos aquí para soportar también a todos los compañeros que quieren que se renueve, que quiten las tarifas, no pagar, que sea gratis otra vez.
Señor, ¿cómo le ha afectado a usted tener que pagar el estacionamiento?
No a mí nada más, a todos los compañeros nos afecta. Afecta al restaurante, afecta las ventas, afecta todo el sistema.
¿Usted ha planeado con su familia para estos próximos meses en donde a lo mejor la incertidumbre de pagar o no pagar el estacionamiento puede afectarlo?
Sí, afecta mucho.
¿Ha planeado algo con su familia? ¿Un plan?
No, en realidad no, pero no podemos pagarlo todo el tiempo.
¿Qué cambio quiere ver?
Que lo quiten. Gracias.
Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. So I want to be clear. For those of you out there who say this is just parking, why does this matter so much? It doesn't matter. It's only $5. Or when you think of these workers, the fact that they have to park down at Inspiration Point, some of them, walk in the darkness of the night right here to the Prado or to Panama 66 to go to work, and then walk back, putting their life at risk, in danger. Think of these folks. When you get ready to say, well, it doesn't matter. Anyone, we could pay for those. It's not that much. Think of the folks that are trying to scrape pennies together to make their rent, to make their groceries, pay their property taxes. If they own a home, they're not rich. This town is one of the most expensive towns in America. This is a very difficult city to live in. I'm born and raised here. I know it. I was a kid, and I'm going to tell you this story real quick, and then we'll close. When I was young, I was in the foster care system. I lost both of my parents very young. Lost my dad when I was 8, lost my mom, and I ended up in foster care as an orphan. And I will never forget the only freedom and opportunity that I had when I was a kid in the system was to come to a place like Balboa Park, to visit a museum with my class, with my elementary school, with my middle school. This park was part of that freedom for me. For a lot of other kids across our region, this park is that freedom for them. When you charge parking fees, you're not just charging the affluent citizens that you think that this is about. You're charging that kid in the foster care system who cannot pay, who his parents or his foster parents are trying to conjure together enough money to just barely make it, or to get them on a field trip to Balboa Park. You're blocking them out. You're blocking out the restaurant worker, the working class person who's trying to make it day by day, having to walk in the darkness of the night just to get to work. And then you make it harder for the restaurant ownership to be able to pay the workers, because attendance goes down at the restaurants, and next thing you know, these folks' jobs are at risk. Many of who I met with this week who feel the pain every single damn day and are concerned that tomorrow may not be promised in regard to their job because attendance is so low. And like I said earlier, if the museums got a cold, restaurants got pneumonia. I've eaten here many, many times at the Prado. And I will tell you, this is one of the best class restaurants in San Diego. Panama 66 as well. That's right. These folks work hard. These folks behind me. They deserve dignity, respect, and class from our city council and from our elected leadership. That's right. That's right. You can clap. So we don't want to get in an argument with the city council. We don't want to argue with you anymore. I'm asking you. I'm pleading with you. Council President LaCava, Council Member Sean Elo Rivera, I know that you said you're for the working class. This is the folks that you say you advocate for. This is the working class. Council Member Henry Foster, Council Member Raul Campillo, who's been a champion on this issue. Raul, that's right. Thank you, Raul Campillo. And I must say, I don't agree with Council Member Stephen Whitburn on every damn thing, but he's been clear from jump on this issue. Repeal the fees entirely. I believe that on February 9th, our council can have good conscience, can be a voice for the working class, can be a voice for the common family in San Diego, can be a voice for that foster kid, can be a voice for that school, can be a voice for those families across our region who are just trying to have one damn day in the park, who are just trying to come to Free Museum Tuesdays or come here on a Sunday. I believe that you know that a suspension is not enough. And I believe in all of our heart that you know that the Balboa Park Parking Access and Fairness Ordinance is the right way to go. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, bring forth my proposed ordinance. And I believe we've got some champions who are committed to that. Councilmember Whitburn is a champion on this issue. He believes in a repeal. Councilmember Campillo, champion on this issue, believes in a repeal. Councilwoman Vivian Moreno, champion for the people. We've got some allies on the council, but we need San Diegans to tell Councilmember Elo Rivera, Joe LaCava, and Kent Lee that a suspension is not enough. There's too many unanswered questions, such as how people who paid for the annual passes, thousands per the mayor, are going to get that refund under a suspension. It's not clear whether it could come back up again. He says, oh yeah, this could potentially come back in the future if it's suspended. I believe that we do the right thing and restore this park to the people of San Diego and ensure that for the long run, that this park is free to park in. Let's restore the park and let's restore workers' rights. Vote to save their jobs on February 9th. Don't vote for your own political aggrandizement. Vote to save their jobs. Full repeal. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Repeal the fees. Thank you all. That concludes our news conference. Thank you so much. That's right.